Belief. Recently, shopping in the chain drugstore with a partner, I came across a plastic rock with that sentiment carved into it. It gave me pause. This piece of plastic that could easily be categorized as junk in the overcrowded aisles of American life. I stopped to think what the word means to me. I was raised secular, but in fact I did have belief. All my life I have worshipped literature and art. I revel in nature. For the most part, I have always been my own person, but I have also, at critical junctures in my life, descended into the many phases of self-destruction. So I understand that wisdom is gained through making mistakes. There is even a scientific theory about this, based on the fact that mistakes are how discoveries are made. I have a sign on my desk that says, "Never give up." It was given to me after a chanting session at a Buddhist party, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, which translates loosely to devotion of the mystic law of the Lotus Sutra, or glory to the Sutra of the Lotus of the Supreme Law. As a creative writer, as well as a human being, I have to believe in myself. Honoring the voice inside of me feels like an act of survival. The fourth Unitarian Universalist principle is a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. I'll repeat that. The fourth Unitarian Universalist principle is a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. When I read the principles, this one in particular, it has occurred to me that I have found a faith that fits my beliefs. Creative writing is a way of making sense of my world. I turned my last crisis into a novel with the working title of Flying. I was laid off from a high-stress marketing job working for a major nonprofit headquartered on Rittenhouse Square, a good setting for novels and movies. At first, I thought the crisis was solely in being laid off and deciding what I was going to do next. But in hindsight, I realized I had to recover from 5.5 years of stress and make sense of why I had moved so far away from myself. I also had to make some sense of the losses in my life during this time. These include the death of my elderly aunt, my mother's only sister. 2 weeks later, the death at the age of 55 of my close friend, Tony Brown, also a lesbian writer. And some months later, the death of a friend and co-worker, a gay man in his early 50s who went home from a meeting and hung himself. In this section of the novel, I read from the passage that I begin by quoting Reverend Kathy Ellis, referred to in the novel as the minister, quote, in a sermon that, in fact, drew me to this beloved community. Dr. King wrote about his own suffering. My personal trials have also taught me the value of unmerited suffering. Notice that he said unmerited. He is not blaming himself, not blaming God, and he wrote that he learned from his suffering. Dr. King was able to use his suffering to strengthen his sense of the power of love, to strengthen himself. But notice what he did not say. He did not say that suffering was good. He did not say that he deserved it or that he sought it. He did not say that God punished him. He said that he found strength and comfort. And he used that creative transformation, that strength, to challenge evil and to work to stop others' suffering. I felt my eyes welling up with tears that sprang from my own compassion about the violence and hatred that was perpetrated against Dr. King, especially in light of the fact that he lived by the philosophy of nonviolence. But as the tears spilled down my face, I realized that I was also feeling compassion for myself, for never having been a believer in anything, even myself. I felt a long channel of light open up inside of me, and it was filled with divine presence. Maybe it was God. Maybe it was a divine lotus flower sutra. Maybe it was the essence of everything. But as I sat in my pew, feeling the minister's words enter my body, I knew that pillar of light was me. I was all that was good and holy.